A Day at the Movies. Part 1. Planning the Day. One sunny morning, a young girl named Meera woke up early. She looked outside the window and smiled. The sky was blue, and the weather was nice. Meera stretched her arms and said, "Today is a good day to go out." After brushing her teeth and taking a shower, she went to the kitchen. Her mother was making breakfast. "Good morning, Mom," Meera said. "Good morning, Meera. Did you sleep well?" her mom asked. "Yes, I did." "Mom, can I go to the movies today?" Meera asked with excitement. Her mom smiled and said, "Yes, of course. But first, finish your breakfast." Meera quickly ate her breakfast. She had toast, eggs, and a glass of orange juice. While eating, she thought about which movie to watch. After breakfast, Meera picked up her phone and called her best friend, Anjali. "Hello, Anjali. Do you want to go to the movies today?" Meera asked. "Yes. I was just thinking the same," Anjali replied. "Let's meet at the mall by 1 p.m., Meera said. "Great. See you there," Anjali answered. Meera smiled and started getting ready. She chose her favorite blue jeans and a white t-shirt. She also packed her small purse. Inside, she kept her phone, some money, tissues, and lip balm. At 12:30 p.m., she said goodbye to her mom and left the house. Part 2. Meeting at the mall. Meera walked to the bus stop. She waited for 5 minutes. Then the bus came. She got on the bus and sat near the window. The ride was short. After 10 minutes, she reached the mall. Meera looked around. The mall was busy. Many people were shopping, eating, and walking. She walked to the front of the movie theater and waited for her friend. After a few minutes, Anjali arrived. She smiled and said, "Hi, Meera. You look nice." Meera said, "Hi, Anjali. You look great too. Are you ready to watch the movie?" "Yes." "Let's check the movie list," Anjali replied. They walked to the ticket counter. A big screen showed all the movie names and times. There were many movies to choose from. Anjali said, "I want to watch a funny movie. What about you?" Meera said, "Yes, let's watch a comedy. I like to laugh." They chose a movie called Funny Friends. It was a comedy about two best friends who go on a crazy adventure. Meera said, "This one looks good. Let's buy the tickets." They went to the counter. "2 tickets for Funny Friends, please," Meera said. The lady at the counter replied, "That will be 300 rupees. Meera gave the money and they got the tickets. The movie would start in 30 minutes. Part 3. Snacks and the movie hall. Meera and Anjali looked around. They still had 30 minutes before the movie started. Anjali said, "I am feeling hungry. Let's buy some snacks." Meera said, "Yes. I want popcorn." They walked to the snack counter. There were many things to eat and drink: popcorn, cold drinks, nachos, chocolate, and more. The man at the counter smiled and asked, "What would you like?" Meera said, "1 large popcorn and 1 cola, please." Anjali said, "I will have nachos and a lemon drink." The man said, "Okay. Please wait 1 minute." He gave them their snacks in big paper boxes and cups. Meera took the popcorn, and Anjali took her nachos. Meera said, "Yum. This smells so good." Anjali laughed and said, "Let's find our seats before the movie starts." They showed their tickets to the movie staff. The staff member said, "Your seats are in row D, seats 5 and 6. Please go straight," and then left. "Thank you," both girls said. They walked into the dark movie hall. It was big with many seats and a large screen. The lights were low and soft music was playing. They found their seats and sat down. Anjali whispered, "This is exciting. I love coming to the movies." Meera smiled and said, "Yes, it's my favorite way to relax." Suddenly, the lights went off. The screen became bright. The movie was starting. Part 4. Watching the movie. The big screen lit up. A short video about movie rules played first. A voice said, "Please switch off your mobile phones. Please do not talk during the movie. Enjoy the show." Then, the movie started. Meera and Anjali looked at the screen with wide eyes. The movie was a comedy. It was funny and full of jokes. In the first scene, the main character slipped on a banana peel. Everyone in the hall laughed. Meera laughed loudly and said, "That was so funny." Anjali said, "I know. I love this actor. He always makes me laugh." They ate their snacks slowly. Meera ate her popcorn, and Anjali munched on her nachos. They also sipped their drinks. In one scene, the main character got into trouble because he sent a message to the wrong person. He had to run around the city to fix everything. The music was fast and fun. People in the theater were laughing and enjoying. Halfway through the movie, there was a short break. Anjali asked, "Are you enjoying the movie?" Meera said, "Yes. It's better than I expected." Anjali smiled and said, "We should come to the movies more often." Meera nodded and said, "Maybe next weekend too." After 5 minutes, the movie started again. Now, the story became more interesting. The main character found a friend who helped him. There were funny moments, a few surprises, and even a small dance scene. Everyone clapped when the movie reached the happy ending. The lights came on again. Meera stretched and said, "Wow, that was great." Anjali said, "Yes, I laughed so much. My cheeks hurt." They picked up their empty snack boxes and walked out of the movie hall. Part 5. Talking about the movie and more fun. Meera and Anjali stepped out of the movie hall. The mall was still busy. People were shopping, eating, and walking around. Meera said, "That movie was really good." Anjali smiled. "Yes. I didn't stop laughing the whole time." Meera asked, "What was your favorite scene?" Anjali thought for a moment and said, "I liked the part where he dressed like a chef and tried to cook. It was so silly." Meera laughed and said, "Yes. And he added salt instead of sugar." Anjali said, "Everyone was so surprised when they tasted the food." They both laughed again. As they walked through the mall, they looked at different shops. There was a shop with pretty clothes. There was a toy store with big teddy bears. There was also a shop that sold books and notebooks. Meera pointed and said, "Look, that store has cute pens." Anjali said, "Let's go inside." They went into the shop. Meera picked up a pink pen with a tiny cat on it. Anjali found a notebook with flowers on the cover. Anjali said, "This notebook is perfect for writing stories." Meera said, "And I can use this pen at school." They didn't buy anything this time, but they had fun looking. Then, they walked toward the food court. They were not hungry, but they wanted to sit and talk. They found a table near the window. Anjali said, "I'm so happy we came today." Meera nodded. "Yes. It was a good break from school and homework." Anjali asked, "Should we do something next weekend too?" Meera said, "Yes. Maybe we can go to the park. Or try a new cafe." Anjali said, "That sounds nice. Let's make a plan during the week." Meera smiled. "I'll ask my mom. I'm sure she will say yes." After chatting for a while, they stood up to leave. Anjali said, "Let's take a selfie." They stood together and took a picture with big smiles. "Now we have a memory of today," said Anjali. They left the mall and walked to the auto stand. Anjali's father had come to pick them up. "Bye, Meera," she said. "Bye." "I had fun," said Meera. Anjali smiled and said, "Me too. See you at school." Part 6. Back to school. Sharing the weekend fun. It was Monday morning. The sun was shining. Birds were singing. Meera was getting ready for school. She wore her uniform, packed her bag, and had breakfast. Her mother asked, "Did you sleep well?" Meera said, "Yes, Mama. I'm excited to go to school today." Her mother smiled. "That's nice. Have a good day." Meera took her bag and walked to the bus stop. There, she saw Anjali. "Good morning," Meera said. "Good morning, Meera," Anjali replied. They both smiled and got on the bus. They found seats and sat together. Anjali said, "I can't wait to tell our friends about the movie." Meera nodded. Yes, it was such a fun day. When they reached school, they walked into their classroom. Their friends Riya and Kabir were already there. Riya asked, "Hey, how was your weekend?" Meera said, "It was great. We went to the mall and watched a movie." Anjali added, "It was a comedy. We laughed so much." Kabir said, "That sounds fun." I stayed home and watched cartoons. Meera said, we also had popcorn and looked at shops. Ria asked, did you buy anything? No, said Meera, but we saw many nice things. I saw a pen with a cat on it, Anjali added, and a notebook with pretty flowers. Their teacher, Miss Nita, came in. She said, good morning, class. Good morning, Miss Nita, the class replied. Miss Nita said, before we begin, would anyone like to share what they did over the weekend? Meera raised her hand. Anjali smiled and did the same. Miss Nita said, yes, Meera and Anjali? Meera stood up and said, we went to the mall on Saturday. We watched a movie. It was very funny. Anjali added, we also ate popcorn and talked about our favorite scenes. Miss Nita smiled. That sounds like a lovely day. Thank you for sharing. After class, many students came to talk to Meera and Anjali. You're lucky, said one girl. I want to go next weekend too, said another. Meera said, maybe we can all go together one day. Anjali said, that would be fun.